The bright lights of Nexus Station never dimmed. Day and night were human concepts that meant little on the massive space habitat. Lieutenant Samantha Ford, or Sam as everyone called her, stared out the viewport at the swirling colors of the nearby nebula. After 6 months on the station, the view still took her breath away. "Lieutenant Ford, the ambassador is ready for you," said a voice behind her. Sam turned and nodded at the young communications officer. "Thank you. I'll be right there." She straightened her blue uniform jacket and checked her sidearm. As head of security for the human diplomatic team, Sam took her job very seriously. Today was important. The first official meeting with the Zrith Confederation could shape human relations with alien species for generations. Ambassador Frank Miller waited by the airlock doors. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes that had seen much during his 40 years in diplomatic service. "Ready for this, Sam?" he asked with a small smile. "As ready as I'll ever be, sir. First time meeting silicon-based life forms." The briefings were interesting. Miller laughed. "That's one word for it. Remember, the Zrith communicate partly through vibrations in their crystal structures. Try not to stare too hard when they start humming and glowing." The airlock hissed open. 4 Zrith delegates stood on the other side. It looked like walking quartz formations, their bodies composed of interconnected crystal prisms that caught the light and broke it into rainbow patterns. Each stood about 7 feet tall. "Ambassador Miller," the lead Zrith said, its voice sounding like wind chimes. "I am Chief Delegate Crystal. We are pleased to begin formal relations with your species." Miller bowed slightly. "The pleasure is ours. This is Lieutenant Samantha Ford, my security chief and cultural liaison." The Zrith turned toward Sam, crystal facets realigning with soft clicking sounds. "A protector? Your form seems soft. Are humans not easily damaged?" Sam had been warned about alien directness. "We're tougher than we look," she said with a smile. The tour of Nexus Station began. Sam walked slightly behind Miller and the Zrith delegation, keeping watch as they moved through the human sector toward the central hub. Other aliens stopped to stare at the group. Humans were still newcomers to the galactic community. In the central hub, representatives from 12 different species mingled in what served as a common area. Some floated in anti-gravity bubbles. Others crawled on multiple legs. A few species Sam couldn't even determine how they moved. "Your station design shows remarkable adaptation capabilities," Crystal said to Miller. "Most species require specific environmental conditions. Adaptation is a human specialty," Miller replied. "We've had to adjust to many environments on our home world." As they approached the engineering section, a sharp alarm began to sound. Red lights flashed along the corridor walls. "Warning! Radiation leak detected in Sector 7G. All personnel evacuate immediately," announced the station's AI in multiple languages. The Zrith delegates froze. Their crystal bodies began vibrating rapidly, producing a high-pitched sound that hurt Sam's ears. "What's happening?" Miller asked, looking to Sam. A station engineer ran toward them, his face pale. "Coolant failure in the secondary reactor. The safety doors aren't responding. They're stuck halfway open. The radiation will spread to this section in minutes if we can't shut it down." The Zrith's vibrations intensified. "We must leave immediately," Crystal said, their voice now sharp like breaking glass. "Even brief exposure to such radiation will shatter our molecular bonds." Sam looked down the corridor. Through the half-open safety doors, she could see the reactor control panel. The radiation warning symbols flashed brightly. "Can it be shut down remotely?" she asked the engineer. He shook his head. "Communications are being blocked by the radiation. Someone needs to manually override the system, but by the time a radiation team suits up, how bad is the radiation for humans?" Sam interrupted. The engineer looked shocked. Bad, really bad. Not immediately fatal, but Sam made her decision. Get the ambassador and the delegates to safety. I'm going in. Miller grabbed her arm. Sam, no. That's an order. She gently removed his hand. With all due respect, sir, there's no time. We can't let this spread through the station. She turned. To the Zrith. Please move back. Your crystalline structures are more vulnerable than our biology. Before anyone could stop her, Sam sprinted down the corridor. As she passed through the safety doors, she felt the radiation hit her skin like hot sunburn. The dosimeter on her uniform immediately went red. The control panel was 30 feet away. Each step was harder than the last as nausea swept through. Her body. Sam's training kicked in. She knew the symptoms of acute radiation exposure. She had minutes at most before she'd be too sick to function. The panel needed a security override. Sam pulled her access card from her pocket, her fingers already starting to tremble. She slid the card into the slot and punched in the emergency code. Nothing happened. Sam swore under her breath. The backup system. She needed to physically pull the emergency shutdown lever located behind the panel. Sam grabbed the edge of the panel and pulled. Her strength was fading fast, but the panel finally gave way. The red lever stood out against the machinery. With the last of her strength, Sam grabbed it and pulled down hard. The reactor's hum changed pitch, dropping lower and lower until it went silent. The radiation warning lights stopped flashing. Sam turned to walk back, but her legs gave out. She crawled toward the safety doors, each movement sending waves of pain through her body. Her vision blurred. She could see shapes at the end of the corridor, people watching in horror. Just before she reached the doors, Sam collapsed. Strong hands grabbed her shoulders and pulled her through to safety. Medical personnel surrounded her immediately, lifting her onto a stretcher. Through her dimming consciousness, Sam saw the Zrith delegates standing back, their crystal bodies now glowing with blue and green light. They were vibrating in a pattern she hadn't seen before. What are they doing? She whispered to Miller, who walked alongside her stretcher. They say it's a vibration pattern of highest respect, Miller said, his voice thick with emotion. You just did something no Zrith could survive. They're calling it the human miracle. Sam tried to laugh, but it came out as a cough. Not a miracle, just doing my job. As the medical team rushed her to the treatment center, word spread throughout. Nexus Station. A human had walked through deadly radiation to save everyone. The soft-bodied newcomers to the galaxy suddenly didn't seem so soft anymore. In the medical bay. As doctors worked to treat her radiation exposure, Sam drifted in and out of consciousness. She didn't know it yet, but her actions had just changed. Humanity's standing in the galactic community forever, and deep in her cells, the radiation had triggered something unexpected changes that would soon make Sam even more remarkable than she already was. 3 months passed since the radiation incident. Sam sat on the edge of her bed in the medical ward, watching Dr. Alan Kennedy study the results of her latest scan. Well, she asked, can I finally get back to work? Dr. Kennedy frowned at his tablet. Your recovery has been remarkable, Lieutenant. Most humans would still be in critical condition after that dose. He paused. But there's something unusual in your cellular structure. Unusual how? Your cells are showing signs of mutation, but not the harmful kind we'd expect. Your DNA repair mechanisms have become more efficient, almost like your body adapted to the radiation exposure. Sam flexed her fingers. They felt stronger than before. Is that why the burns healed so fast? Possibly. I'd like to run more tests, but the door slid open. Ambassador Miller walked in, followed by a tall, thin man in an Earth military uniform. Sam, Miller said with a warm smile. Good to see. "You up? This is Commander Eric Russell from Earth Defense Force. He's been assigned to our embassy for the upcoming summit." Sam stood and saluted. Commander Russell returned the gesture. "Lieutenant Ford, your reputation precedes you," Russell said. "Walking into a radiation zone with no protection? That's either very brave or very foolish. Sometimes they're the same." "Things, sir," Sam replied. Miller cleared his throat. "We have a situation, Sam. The summit starts tomorrow. 17 species will discuss resource sharing in the Orion Orm, including the Vex Imperium." Sam's expression darkened. Everyone knew about the Vex reptilian warriors who had conquered 3 solar systems in the last decade. "What's the problem?" she asked. Commander Russell stepped forward. "The Vex ambassador, General Korth, has challenged humanity's right to equal resource access. He calls us fragile primitives, unworthy of a place at the table." "That's ridiculous," Sam said. "We've proven ourselves." "Not to the Vex," Miller replied. "They respect only strength and technological superiority. Your incident with the radiation impressed many species, but the Vex dismissed it as luck." Dr. Kennedy interrupted. "Ambassador, Lieutenant Ford needs rest. She's still recovering." "Actually," Russell said, "we need her for a mission. The Vex have proposed a challenge." Later that day, Sam sat in the embassy conference room with Miller, Russell, and 5 other human officials. On the large screen, an image of the Charybdis Nebula rotated slowly, a swirling mass of purple and blue. "Gases. The challenge is simple," Russell explained. "Each species must send 1 representative to retrieve a diplomatic package from the heart of the nebula. The Charybdis is known for its intense radiation storms. And let me guess," Sam said, "a Vex think will either refuse or fail." Miller nodded. "They've set this up to embarrass us. Each species can bring whatever protective technology they possess. The Zrith will use their crystal ships that deflect radiation," a science officer added. "The Vex have mechanical exosuits. Other species have various technologies specifically designed for radiation protection." "And what do we have?" Sam asked. The room fell silent. "Our ships have basic radiation shielding," Russell finally said. "Nothing compared to what the others will bring." Sam leaned forward. "So this is a test we're designed to fail. Unless," Miller said quietly, "we send someone with natural resistance." All eyes turned to Sam. She suddenly understood. "You want to send me because of my radiation exposure? Because of whatever changes Dr. Kennedy found in my cells?" Miller had the decency to look uncomfortable. "We wouldn't ask if there was another option. But your medical scans show unprecedented adaptation to radiation, and you've already proven you can function under exposure that would incapacitate others." Sam stood and walked to the window. Outside, alien ships docked at Nexus Station. 17 species, most far more technologically advanced than humans. Yet here they were, trying to push humanity aside. "What does Dr. Kennedy say about this?" she asked. Russell answered. "He says it's risky. Your mutations aren't fully understood. But he also admits you're the best candidate we have." Sam turned back to face them. "When does this challenge take place?" 1 week from today, Miller said. "That gives us time to prepare a ship and for you to train. If you accept?" Sam thought about the radiation burning her skin as she pulled the emergency lever. She remembered the Zrith delegates vibrating in respect afterward. For the first time, an alien species had seen humans as something more than just newcomers. "I'll do it," she said. The next 5 days were filled with intensive training. Sam worked with engineers to modify a small Earth shuttle, adding every bit of radiation shielding they could manage. Dr. Kennedy monitored her constantly, injecting her with compounds to boost her cellular repair functions. On the 6th day, Sam was in the shuttle bay, running final checks when she sensed someone watching her. She turned to find a Zrith standing nearby. Not just any Zrith. This one's crystal formation had distinctive blue patterns she recognized. "Chief Delegate Crystal," Sam said with a slight bow. "Lieutenant Ford." The Zrith's voice chimed like gentle bells. "I have come to inform you that I will be the Zrith representative in the challenge. My people call me Master Zealer in my role as explorer." Sam was surprised. "You're going into the nebula?" "I thought radiation was deadly to your kind." "It is. Our ship provides necessary protection." Zealer moved closer, crystal facets clicking softly. "I wish to meet the human who risked death to save others. Such behavior is fascinating to us." "Just doing my job," Sam said, uncomfortable with the attention. "The Vex do not understand your kind," Zealer continued. "They believe without technology, you are nothing. I have observed differently." Sam checked the shuttle's exterior sensors, trying to appear casual. The Vex might be right. "My ship can't match the protection your crystal vessel provides." "Perhaps not." Zealer's body shimmered with soft light. "But you possess something no technology can replace. This Zrith evolved on a world shielded from all cosmic radiation. We never developed natural defenses." "Earth has always been bombarded with radiation," Sam said, understanding dawning. "We evolved with it?" "Precisely. What you consider background radiation would kill many of us over time." Zealer's crystals vibrated in what Sam now recognized as their version of respect. "The Vex fear this challenge will expose a vulnerability in their protective systems." "What do you mean?" "The heart of the Charybdis Nebula contains radiation unlike anywhere else. No shielding is perfect." Zealer moved toward the door, then paused. "Watch for sabotage, Lieutenant Ford. The Vex do not play fair when they fear losing." After Zealer left, Sam sat in the shuttle's pilot's seat, thinking. Tomorrow she would fly into one of the most dangerous regions of space with minimal protection. Her body still showed signs of her previous radiation exposure. Dr. Kennedy couldn't guarantee she'd survive another dose. Yet here she was, humanity's best hope of proving their worth among the stars. Not because of superior technology or weapons, but because of what made humans unique, their adaptability to harsh conditions. Sam started the pre-flight sequence. Whatever happened tomorrow, she would show the galaxy that humans belonged among the stars, special gear or not. The day of the challenge arrived. Sam stood in the main hangar bay of Nexus Station, watching the representatives from the 17 species prepare their vessels. The differences were striking. The Zrith ship looked like a giant diamond, its crystal surfaces catching and refracting light. Master Zealer stood beside it, body glimmering with blue and green pulses. Nearby, the Vex delegate, General Korth, climbed into a massive mechanical exosuit that towered over the other competitors. It was black and red with thick armor plates and glowing energy shields. Sam's modified Earth shuttle looked plain by comparison. It was small, sleek, and designed for speed rather than protection. The engineers had added extra radiation shielding, but everyone knew it was far less advanced than what the other species had. Ambassador Miller approached Sam as she ran final checks on her ship. "Remember, this isn't just about winning," he said quietly. "It's about showing them humans belong at the table." Sam nodded. "I understand, sir." She hesitated, then asked, "Has Dr. Kennedy shared his final report with you?" Miller's expression grew serious. "Yes, your cellular mutations have continued to develop. He believes you may have even greater radiation resistance now than before, but it's untested and potentially unstable," Sam added. She had seen the concern in Dr. Kennedy's eyes during her final checkup. "Are you having second thoughts?" Miller asked. Sam shook her head. "No, but I want you to know I understand the risks." A chime sounded through the hangar. signaling 15 minutes until departure. Miller squeezed Sam's shoulder and left to join the other diplomatic officials in the observation room. As Sam climbed into her shuttle, she noticed Master Ziller approaching. The Zrith moved with unusual quickness, crystal limbs clicking rapidly. "Lieutenant." "Ford," Ziller said, voice lower than usual. "I must warn you. I overheard Vex technicians discussing your ship." Sam paused. "What about my ship?" "They spoke of modifications. I believe they may have sabotaged your systems." Ziller's crystals pulsed with deep red light, a color Sam hadn't seen before. "Can you prove it?" Sam asked. "No, and there is no time. To inspect your vessel now." Sam considered her options. Accusing the Vex without proof would create a diplomatic incident. Postponing the challenge would make humans look weak or afraid. "Thank you for the warning," she said finally. "I'll be extra careful." Ziller's crystal body vibrated in what Sam now recognized as concern. "The radiation in the Charybdis Nebula is unlike anything you have encountered before. Even my crystal ship cannot fully shield against it." "Then we'll both need to be careful," Sam replied with a small smile. The Zrith extended a crystalline limb and touched Sam's hand lightly. "May fortune favor the brave human friend." 5 minutes later, all 17 ships launched from Nexus Station. They formed a loose formation and headed toward the swirling clouds of the Charybdis Nebula, which glowed purple and blue against the blackness of space. Commander Russell's voice came through Sam's communication system. "All ships will enter the nebula at different points to avoid collision. Remember, the diplomatic package is located at the central beacon. First one to retrieve it wins the challenge." Sam checked her radiation shields one last time. All systems showed green, but Ziller's warning lingered in her mind. She switched to a private channel. "Dr. Kennedy, are you monitoring?" "I'm here, Lieutenant," came the doctor's voice. "Your vital signs are strong. The compounds I gave you should help your cells repair radiation damage, but don't push it too far." "If something happens to my shields, what's my exposure limit?" There was a pause before Kennedy answered. "Based on your unique physiology, I'd estimate you could handle 10 minutes of direct exposure before critical systems fail. But that's just a theory I'd rather not test." "Let's hope we don't have to," Sam said. The 17 ships reached the outer boundary of the nebula. Sam took a deep breath and guided her shuttle into the glowing clouds. Immediately, her sensors began detecting radiation levels rising. The shields hummed as they worked to block the harmful energy. For the first hour, everything went smoothly. 3 of the alien ships had already turned back, their protection systems unable to handle even the outer layers of the nebula. Sam pushed forward, following her navigation system toward the center. Then, without warning, a red alert flashed across her control panel. The main shield generator was failing. Secondary systems kicked in, but they provided only half the protection. "Kennedy, I've got a problem," Sam reported. "Shield malfunction." "Exactly what Ziller warned me about." "Radiation levels?" Kennedy asked. His voice tensed. Sam checked the readings. "Twice what they should be with functioning shields, and climbing as I get deeper." "Pull out now, Lieutenant." "That's an order from Ambassador Miller." Sam looked at her navigation display. She was already deeper into the nebula than most competitors. Only the Vex, the Zrith, and 2 other species were still ahead of her. "Negative," she replied. "I'm continuing the mission." "Sam, your shields will fail completely at this rate. Then I'll complete the mission without them." Sam switched off the communication system and focused on flying. The nebula grew denser around her ship, swirling clouds of gas obscuring her view. Her skin began to tingle as radiation leaked through the failing shields. An hour later, Sam's situation had worsened. The main shields were completely offline. The backup systems provided minimal protection. Warning signals flashed across her control panel, but she ignored them. The center of the nebula was close now. Her body felt strange. The radiation sickness was starting nausea, headache, skin burning. But something else was happening too. The tingling had changed to a kind of vibration in her cells, almost like they were adapting to the radiation in real time. Ahead, Sam could see 4 ships grouped around a small space station, the Central. Beacon. The Vex exosuit had docked with the station. The Zrith crystal ship hovered nearby, its surfaces already showing cracks from radiation damage. The other 2 competitors were retreating, their protection failing. Sam's shuttle lurched as the final shield systems gave out. Warning alarms blared through the cabin. Her dosimeter flashed red, indicating dangerous radiation levels. But she was too close to give up now. Sam guided her shuttle to the beacon and prepared to dock. Through the viewport, she could see General Korth's massive exosuit moving slowly on the station's exterior. Even the Vex's advanced technology was struggling with the radiation dot as Sam's shuttle connected with the docking port. She made her decision. The radiation levels inside the station would be just as high as outside. No technology would fully protect anyone here. So she would use what made humans special, their natural resilience and willingness to endure. Sam sealed her regular spacesuit, knowing it would provide only basic protection. Then she opened the airlock and stepped onto the station, ready to face whatever came next. Behind her, Master Zealer watched from the cracking crystal ship, crystal body vibrating in a mixture of alarm and respect as the human walked into the radiation zone with nothing but determination and her own evolving biology to protect her. Sam's boots clanked against the metal floor of the central beacon station. Her breath sounded loud inside her helmet. The radiation meters on her suit blinked red, warning her of the danger all around. Through the station's viewport, she could see the nebula's swirling clouds, beautiful but deadly. Her skin burned and her head pounded, but she kept moving forward. The station was small, just 3 connected rooms. In the first room, Sam found General Korth. The Vex warrior was still inside his massive exosuit, but the machine was clearly malfunctioning. Its energy shields flickered, and several warning lights flashed on its surface. Korth's reptilian face was visible through the exosuit's clear helmet. His yellow eyes widened when he saw Sam. "Human?" he hissed in surprise. "Where is your protective equipment?" Sam gestured to her simple spacesuit. "This is all I've got." "Impossible," Korth said. "The radiation levels here would kill an unprotected human in minutes." "Maybe," Sam agreed, "but I'm still walking." She moved past the stunned Vex general toward the central room. According to the briefing, the diplomatic package would be there. Behind her, Korth tried to follow, but his exosuit moved sluggishly. "Wait," he called. "My systems are failing. The radiation is interfering with the power core." Sam paused and looked back. Despite the sabotage, despite everything the Vex had done to ensure humans would fail this challenge, she couldn't leave someone in danger. "Can you make it back to your ship?" she asked. Korth's reptilian face showed confusion at her concern. "The suit has emergency power. I can return slowly." Sam nodded and continued to the central room. There, floating in a containment field, was a small metallic box, the diplomatic package. Sam reached for it, then froze as she heard a cracking sound from nearby. Master Zealer had entered the station through another airlock. The Zrith's crystal body was showing multiple fractures, and some of the smaller crystal pieces had already broken off. "Lieutenant Ford," Zealer's voice sounded strained, the usual musical quality replaced by sharp, discordant notes. "You made it. So did you," Sam said. "But you don't look good." "My crystalline structure is failing under the radiation," Zealer admitted. "I must retrieve the package quickly and return to my ship." Sam looked at the floating box, then at the damaged Zrith. She made her decision. "Let me get it for you," she said. "Your body is more compromised than mine." Before Zealer could protest, Sam stepped forward and reached into the containment field. Her hand passed through the energy barrier, and she grasped the box. As she pulled it out, a wave of pain shot through her arm. The radiation in the field was even more intense. Sam gritted her teeth and turned to Ziller. "Here," she said, holding out the box. "Take it." Ziller's crystal facets shifted in patterns of confusion. "You would give me the victory? After your people were challenged?" "This isn't about winning," Sam said, repeating Miller's words. "It's about showing we belong at the table." A loud crack interrupted them. Several large pieces of Ziller's crystal body broke off and fell to the floor. "I cannot ... Ziller began, voice fading. "My ship's protection is failing too. I will not make it back to Nexus Station." Sam tucked the diplomatic package into a pouch on her suit. "Then I'll take you with me," she said. "My shuttle can fit both of us." "The radiation?" Ziller protested. Weakly. "I'll manage," Sam said, though she wasn't sure if that was true. The burning sensation under her skin was getting worse, and her vision occasionally blurred. As they turned to leave, a crash came from the first room. Korth's voice called out in alarm. Sam and Zealer hurried back to find the Vex General trapped under a section of ceiling that had collapsed. His exosuit's legs were pinned, and the power was fluctuating wildly. "Leave me," Korth growled when he saw them. "The station is becoming unstable. The radiation is affecting the structural integrity." Sam looked at Ziller, then back at Korth. "That's not how humans do things," she said. Despite her weakening condition, Sam worked with Ziller to lift the debris off Korth's exosuit. The effort made her vision swim with black spots, and she could feel blood trickling from her nose, a sign of worsening radiation sickness. Once Korth was free, his exosuit could barely move. Sam had to help support the massive machine as they made their slow way to her shuttle. Ziller followed, leaving a trail of broken crystal pieces. "Why help me?" Korth asked as they reached Sam's shuttle. "I ordered the sabotage of your shields." "No," Sam said. "But out here, we all need to look out for each other. Space doesn't care what species you are. It'll kill us all the same." The journey back through the nebula was a desperate race against time. Sam's shuttle, designed for one person, now carried 3. The life support system strained under the load. With no shields, radiation poured into the cabin. Sam focused on flying, trying to ignore her deteriorating condition. Blood now dripped from her nose constantly, and her skin was covered in red blisters. But something strange was happening. 2 moments of clarity amid the pain, as if her body was fighting back against the radiation in ways she didn't understand. Behind her, Zealer's condition was worse. The Zrith's crystalline body continued to fracture. Even Korth, inside his damaged exosuit, was showing signs of radiation poisoning. His scaled skin had taken on a grayish tint. "Your species is surprising," Korth said quietly. "We thought you primitive because your technology is less advanced." "Technology isn't everything," Sam replied, her voice hoarse. "Humans evolved on a planet with natural radiation. Our bodies learned to deal with it long before we built machines to protect you." As they neared the edge of the nebula, Sam's communication system crackled to life. Commander Russell's voice came through, filled with static. "Lieutenant Ford, do you copy? We've lost contact with most of the ships. What's your status?" Sam tried to respond, but a fit of coughing overtook her. Blood spattered inside her helmet. Korth leaned forward and activated the communication system. "This is General Korth of the Vex Imperium. Lieutenant Ford is piloting the vessel. She has the diplomatic package and has rescued both myself and the Zrith delegate. Request immediate medical assistance upon arrival." There was a stunned silence before Russell responded. "Understood. Medical teams are standing by. Sam's vision was tunneling now, darkness creeping in from the edges. But through the view screen, she could see Nexus Station growing larger. They were going to make it. With the last of her strength, Sam guided the shuttle toward the hangar bay. Her hands shook on the controls, and sweat mixed with blood on her face. But determination kept her conscious dot as the shuttle docked with a rough bump. Sam turned to her unlikely companions. "Welcome home," she whispered, before finally giving in to the darkness that had been calling her since they entered the nebula. The last thing she heard was Korth's voice, uncharacteristically respectful. The human walked through the radiation zone. No special gear, no protection, just walked through. Bright light filtered through Sam's eyelids. She slowly became aware of soft beeping sounds and the smell of antiseptic. The medical bay. She was alive. "Welcome back, Lieutenant," said a familiar voice. Sam opened her eyes to see Dr. Kennedy standing beside her bed, studying a medical tablet. His face looked tired but relieved. "How long?" Sam's voice came out as a croak. 2 weeks, Kennedy replied. "You've been in and out of consciousness." The radiation exposure was ... significant. Sam tried to sit up, but her body felt weak. "Ziller and Korth? The Zrith is recovering?" Their medical team was able to repair most of the crystal damage. "General, Korth returned to the Vex fleet 3 days ago." Kennedy put down his tablet. "You saved their lives, Sam. And the challenge?" "The diplomatic package? Ambassador Miller has it. The official ruling was that since you retrieved it first and brought it back to Nexus Station, humanity won the challenge." Kennedy smiled. "Though one doesn't quite capture what happened. Change the game might be more accurate." Sam noticed something odd about her arms. The skin seemed different, healthier than before, but with faint patterns like delicate silver tracery just below the surface. Kennedy followed her gaze. "That's what I wanted to discuss with you. Your body's reaction to the radiation was ... unprecedented." "I'm still mutating?" Sam asked. "Adapting would be a better word," Kennedy said. "Your cellular structure has incorporated elements of the radiation exposure and developed enhanced repair mechanisms. It's as if your DNA took the radiation as a challenge and evolved to meet it." "Is it dangerous?" "Not as far as we can tell. In fact, you now have radiation resistance beyond anything we've documented in humans." Kennedy looked excited despite his professional demeanor. "We've already identified the specific genetic markers responsible. With your permission, we could develop treatments to help other humans working in high radiation environments." Sam looked at her silvery skin patterns with new interest. "So I'm some kind of radiation-proof human now?" "Not entirely proof, but remarkably resistant," Kennedy corrected. "And possibly the key to helping humanity thrive in deep space environments that would be lethal to most species." Before Sam could respond, the door opened. Ambassador Miller walked in, followed by Commander Russell, and to Sam's surprise, Master Ziller. His Rith's crystal body showed signs of repair-thin silver filaments, now connected previously damaged sections. "Lieutenant Ford," Miller said with a warm smile. "Good to see you awake. You've become quite the celebrity while you were recovering." "Celebrity?" Sam frowned in confusion. "The human who walked through radiation," Ziller said, crystal body chiming softly. "Word has spread to all corners of the galactic community." Russell nodded. "The Vex have withdrawn their objections to human resource claims, and 6 other species have requested human advisors for their space programs." "I don't understand," Sam said. "All I did was complete the mission." "What you did," Miller explained, "was demonstrate something fundamental about humanity that the other species had overlooked. Our adaptability." Zeller moved closer to Sam's bed. "My people evolved on a world protected from radiation by dense atmospheric gases. The Vex developed on a planet with stable conditions that rarely changed. Most spacefaring species come from environments that required little adaptation. Earth has always been different, Russell added. Natural disasters, climate shifts, radiation, pathogens. Humans evolved through constant challenges. What aliens achieve through technology, Miller said, humans often accomplish through biological adaptation and sheer determination. Sam thought about this. So my mutations ... may represent the next step in human evolution for space exploration. Kennedy finished. Your cells have developed mechanisms that could help all humans better survive in the radiation-heavy environments of deep space. 1 year later, Sam stood in her new uniform on the observation deck of Nexus Station. The captain's insignia felt strange on her collar. Through the viewport, she could see 32 ships docked at the station, representatives from 32 different alien civilizations arriving for the new diplomatic summit. Her skin still showed the silver patterns from her radiation exposure, though they had faded slightly. The patterns had become something of a symbol among both humans and aliens, a mark of what humans could endure. Captain Ford, a voice called from behind her. Sam turned to see General Korth approaching. The Vex warrior looked different without his massive exosuit. He was tall and reptilian, with scales that shifted from green to red depending on the light. General, Sam greeted him with a nod. I didn't expect to see you here. The Vex Imperium has new leadership, Korth said. I now serve as Chief Diplomatic Officer. He paused, seeming uncomfortable. The events in the nebula changed many perspectives, including my own. Sam smiled slightly. That's good to hear. The mixed species deep space training program you now lead, Korth continued. There are Vex warriors who wish to join. They'd be welcome, Sam replied. The point is to learn from each other's strengths. Korth looked out at the stars. There is a question that has puzzled many of us since the challenge. He turned back to Sam. Why risk death by radiation when you could have built better technology? Why walk through danger when you could have created a machine to do it for you? Sam considered the question carefully. Many aliens had asked her variations of this same thing over the past year. Her answer had evolved as she came to better understand what made humans unique in the galactic community. Because sometimes the problem requires a solution right now, with whatever tools you have at hand, she said. And sometimes that tool is just yourself. Korth's reptilian features shifted in what Sam had learned was their version of thoughtful consideration. An interesting perspective. A chime sounded, signaling the beginning of the summit. Sam and Korth walked together toward the Grand Hall. Inside, representatives from 32 civilizations waited. As the human delegation entered, led by Ambassador Miller, every alien representative rose to their feet, tentacles, or hovering platforms, a gesture once reserved only for the oldest spacefaring races. Sam took her place with the human team. Her new role as captain of the first mixed-species deep space exploration vessel was a heavy responsibility. But looking around at the gathered aliens, she felt a sense of pride. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through superior technology or weapons, but through the qualities that had helped them survive on Earth for thousands of years: adaptability, determination, and the willingness to walk through danger when necessary. No special gear required.